Alright, hopefully my cat's done screaming. Ah, okay. Is the house open? Um, I don't know. Alright, let's see. I think I may have... Yes, I left creative mode on while I was checking something. Alright, let's, make sure my hydrogen's full. There we go. We did pick up a bit of silver, so we need to pick up gold because silver's nice, but it's not what's most required. We actually need a lot of gold. Thinking does hurt too much. Especially when I'm sitting here drinking my first cup of coffee. Alright. Turn on the batteries. Turn on everything. And disconnect. I'm going to have to replace that with just pipes. For some reason that's clanging out real bad. Yes, I need gold. Alright. I had an interesting string of comments on my YouTube videos. Someone was saying their turbines are not placing properly. Every time they place them, they place sideways, which I've never run into before. Unless massive lag or, well, massive lag, really. Either massive lag or a desync. Okay, I thought this one was gold too. Iron and gold. Just gotta find me gold. Might be an issue because it might be too far down for the small grid. They have to go back and grab the large grid mining, or the large grid ore detector. Yeah, zooming out will... Oh. Of course, we're picking up the iron. The iron seems pretty deep, though. Alright, we're gonna go grab the large grid ore detector. There's not enough coffee in the world today. Give me an IV drip. I've gone back to playing Beat Saber now that I have space in my house to do so, and I'm sore. Yeah, the guy said that he'd already done the switching to replacement. Um, I don't know. Like I said, I've never run into the issue he said he's had before. My first thought was, you're placing it wrong. User error. Because that seems to be the usual answer, is it's some sort of user error. Which I know I've been guilty of in the past. Just making stupid mistakes and not realizing it. Alright, let's turn off the thrusters. Switch batteries to charge. Don't need that on. Vector on. Unlock. There we go. How far off am I? There we go. Now we got it. On. At least we're not carrying anything too heavy. So, yeah, I don't know how to actually help the guy without seeing what's happening. Um, I wish I could, but it's one of those things where it just sounds like weirdness is going on, and I don't know. Yeah, the gold is just too deep. I'm going to have to mine through the iron to get to the gold. Looks like I might be okay right here. Seems like a good spot to start. Alright, yeah, we'll start right here. It does. It's a buggy mess, and I love it. I love all the news that they keep putting out about V-Rage 3, though. I'm really looking forward to Space Engineers 2. Hopefully I have a job or some source of income when it drops, because I can't afford, right now I can't afford the money that I will drop as soon as they drop that new release. Ooh. Okay. Just, there we go. Burn some speed here. Large ore detector might be too much for the ship. Should probably turn it off too. I think I'm going to put it on the other side of the building. Yeah, I've been very fortunate with that in the past. Um, Not so much recently because I don't have a pay cycle, but I have been fortunate with that in the past. Okay, everything's off and set to recharge. Should be good to go. Okay, 8, 6. Food and bills are important. Particularly food. Grocery shopping better include coffee too. Oh man. All right, so we're just going to trust that this is the spot because no other choice here. That's brutal. Oh, I lost my home row. All right. Well, Silver, I hope you're living in a location where that's enough to at least survive, even with roommates. Look at that, we can see it now. I thought the ore detector range... Yeah, the ore detector range is 50 meters. That sure looks greater than 50 meters. I had tool shake turned off. Ah, yeah, my rent is $1,100 a month, and my grocery bill is probably 300 or 400 a month. When I'm looking at just myself, with buying food for my kids and my pets, it jumps to probably 1,000 a month I spend on groceries. And the cost of living is crap where I'm at. Um, I live in Michigan, but I live near a large metropolitan area, and living near metropolitan areas, the cost of living just skyrockets. I missed the gold. I don't think so. No, there it is. Well, this is a thick vein of gold. Looks like that's it for that vein of gold. Good time, because their inventory's full. Seems about right. 24K gold. That makes me happy. Turn off the stone shooting, though. Okay. I'm going to keep some of the stone because I don't have to go mine iron if I have the stone. I think I got tilted. Well, that's a deep hole. I think I'm going too fast. Look, it's about to be nighttime even. All right. There we go. Turn off the thrusters right away, and it doesn't try to clang out. Because clang is evil. Stone. Just put all the stone over there. It should get through the stone rather quickly. At least that's my hope. Okay. That's good. We got more than a full refinery's worth of gold, it looks like. Yeah, it's probably going to be enough gold to last me for a little while. Um, I don't know if I'm going to strip mine the other items. I might go get a load of cobalt. Depends on how low my cobalt is. Look, cobalt 8.78k. Hmm. It's going pretty good, Black Star. Just there's not enough coffee today. That's about all there is to that. I mean, not that there ever is enough coffee, but there's just really not enough today. Let's see. All right, I'm going to give this a minute to chew through a little bit of gold. Your wife is a good woman. I'm going to grab some more coffee. By the way, I saw the comments on my last YouTube video. They were very kind. And I'm not just talking to you, Black Star, but yours was particularly kind too. I really appreciate it. Very kind words. Thank you. In fact, I wrote thank you a few times. I thought people might have thought I was hitting copy paste. It was just very nice comments. Ah. All right. Can I move? All right. I'm going to go smoke a cigarette. Come join me. Because why not? And I don't know if Effort's watching, but he's welcome to hop down into voice chat with me if he'd like. Or he can come actually run the miner too. That'd be cool. I'll build stuff. Uh so I don't know how many of you guys actually play with mods? Because I was looking at the mods available and looking at some of my old mods that I've used. And there's an AQD, uh, I don't remember, AQD small grid expansion, I think is what it is. And then there's another mod called Small Stuff. Wow. Okay, well, Black Star, there are some mods for Xbox that work on Xbox. I think it's mod.io you need to go to, but I could be wrong. Um, I don't play on Xbox, and I don't have good answers for the console versions, unfortunately, as far as mods go and controller setup goes. But I do believe that there are some mods that do work on the Xbox. And But there's a mod called the AQD small small grid expansion, and then there's small um the small stuff, I think it is, and I absolutely love that mod. A shed load of mods. Um, that's how it read it to me. I don't know if that's what you typed or not, but a shed load of mods. That is the most accurate translation from a slur I've ever heard. Oh, is it afternoon? Yes, but I like those ones because they're not too overdone. The uh, the small stuffs and the AQD small grid expansion, it gives you a very underpowered jump drive. Um, it gives you basically a very underpowered jump drive and the basic refinery, basic assembler. I think it's like 12:30 here. So I guess it is technically afternoon here. But I was up extremely late last night, and then when I did get up this morning, I was in extreme pain, so I went and I laid back down. And then I didn't wake up till 11:30. um, but yeah, I haven't played Beat Saber in years. My kids got me back into it yesterday since the floor has been clear enough to actually play it. And man, that uses so much muscles that it's just my body aches. Ibuprofen is your friend. And I'm going to have to do it again today because otherwise the pain's just going to keep getting worse. I need to get back into doing Beat Saber daily for 30 minutes to an hour every day to get some good cardio in. It's not too hard on my joints. I have bad joints. A lifetime of abusing my body has left me with problems. I can't do push-ups and sit-ups and pull-ups and all that good stuff. I can't even do crunches. But the Beat Saber does not seem to beat up my body too much, and it's a good cardio workout. So I actually got my mother to try it, and now she wants to buy a VR headset. Um, I've already done the looking after kids. That's not cardio. That's straight up running. One end of the house to the other because somebody's screaming at somebody, somebody's breaking something, somebody's getting into something, and somebody just wants attention. That sounds great if I had a pool available to me, Black Star. Um, but the Beat Saber seems to work really well. Gives me a good cardio workout and doesn't hurt too much. Yeah, and that's basically what I use Beat Saber for. It works well. I don't have to go to a pool. I can do it in the privacy of my own house. It's great. I love it. Um, I can do the entire first pack on expert mode uh, and get an S rating. I need to switch to the one life mode and do it on the one life mode until I can get through the entire first level on one life. And the second level I can get through with an A rating on expert mode. I believe the third pack is where I start to have trouble. But You know, I thought about that, but that's a quick way to get CPS sent to your house if somebody catches wind that you're hanging your children on the wall. Shoot, I had CPS sent to my house because my kids were sweaty in the summer. Because, kindergarten kids go out and they play, and then they go to an afternoon kindergarten class, and they're like, he's sweaty. It's 80 degrees out. He's been running for the morning. They were called on me several times for that, and man, still haven't gotten through enough gold to unload it. Alright, let's just go to the large cargo container and gold. There we go. That'll take care of that. Alright, 6 and 9. I have to unlock as soon as I get my thrusters on, because otherwise Clang takes over. And I really don't want to see my miner sent flying. Especially not sent flying into the base. What I do need to do, though, is I need stone. I'm just going to grab a crap ton of stone, a full load of stone, and I'm going to get that processing into iron. The gold is required for superconductors, and superconductors are required for refinery upgrades. Well, when CPS showed up at my door, the lady was like, I don't even know why I'm here. So, I mean, what do you do? It's just the school being overbearing, thinking they know how to parent better than parents. I'm sorry, Silver. I can't decipher what that was supposed to be. Yeah, yep, yield modules. That's just dumb. That is really dumb, Toxic. But I can understand how a school would do that. Some people have delicate sensibilities. Yeah, I grew up on the farm. Um, I knew all about all that stuff well before the school would have liked me to. And my parents told me not to talk about it at school because even when I was young, the schools were more delicate. Not because the school itself didn't want us to know, but because other people at the school, their parents didn't want them to know. Yeah, see, I can say this now because due to limitations and my father's dead anyways. Um, the school was dumb enough that and power hungry enough that my father actually went in and he picked up one of the teachers, threatened his life, and threw him across the room. No, I am not ready to do a jump drive yet. That was just one load of gold. So, one load of gold got me enough to last me quite some time for what I'm doing. But no, when I was younger, my school teachers, I agree with that. But when I was younger, my some of the school teachers were harassing my older brother, and my father didn't appreciate that. So he actually went in and he picked up one of the school teachers by his collar from across his desk, told him if he didn't quit that he would die, and threw him across the room. After that, my school experience got a lot easier. Schools don't like that. You're not allowed to defend yourself anymore. Oh, I don't want to leave that little bit floating there. Yeah, the problem comes in when the school teachers are the problem. And that was the case when I was growing up. The school teachers were the problem. I've said before, and I'll say it again, you couldn't pay me to go back to school. I know a lot of people who say high school was their best experience. And honestly, I kind of feel sorry for those people. I may have overloaded it a bit. Ooh, it's going to be a rough trip back in the dark. Which way is home? All right. Yeah. See, now I'm I'm of two minds when it comes to teachers. I know some teachers who go to they go to school every day, they teach the children, and they have nothing but the best interest of the children at heart. They really want to raise the kids to be good people. Yeah, I know, Stephen, that would be the smart option. Um, I'm not going to take the smart route. Looks like I'm over the lake now. That's a good granddad to have. Thank you, Stephen. I know I'm making the wrong choice. If I just keep the speed down, I should be okay. That might be a bit too fast. Oh, how much damage did I do? None. No damage. Probably have to weld that up when I get back. Yeah, my dad was the same way. Yep, my dad was the same way. I got suspended for defending myself, and he bought me a cake. That was the best week of my life. Um, and he gave the school an earful. But I think that's the way we should be as parents, to be honest. Um, it's just you defend your kids when they're in the right, and you don't let other people step on your toes when you're trying to raise them and teach them right from wrong. Oh, yes, always. Children lying to you is never a good thing, and you always punish them. Yeah, it was a bit too late. I think you might be a little behind. Fortunately, it doesn't look like I did too much damage. All right. All right. Go ahead and we'll do refinery. All right, that looks good. Just search for stone now. Make sure the only stone we have is in the refinery, and yeah. That ought to give me enough iron to last me a little while. I am going to have to throw away some of this gravel, though. Not looking too bad. It's just iron. I don't like to let myself get below, say, 15K, because you run through it so quick. Let's see. They are, but sometimes they take a little bit of damage, and they didn't this time. I hit pretty hard, too, so that kind of surprises me. Alright, let's turn off the lights. And I'm going to go in and see if I can actually build up my yield modules here. 20 superconductors. Should be able to do all the superconductors I need. Now this will slow things down and draw more power, but it'll be worth it in the end. There we go. I probably should have done two yield modules and two speed modules. All right, let's look at the refinery. Yeah, that's not too bad. Efficiency 200%. Yeah, I'll be happy with that. It'll be better when I expand out the base. The base is going to get expanded. I'm going to expand more storage and a refinery for each ore coming out the back, and this will wind up being a big L-shaped factory back here. I think just having the two assemblers is probably good enough because they're both packed with speed modules. Oh, some free resources. If I can find them. Yep, can't find them. Alright, let's see how much that stone is getting me. Should be getting me quite a bit. Huh. The gold has taken over the the refinery again. Ah. Yeah. That's actually kind of annoying. I wanted to handle the stone first. Oh well. Alright. And I should probably go get another load of stone. Or cobalt, actually. Nope, I was going to actually cover sensors when I decided to set up the airlock the rest of the way. I was going to cover sensors and timer blocks. Yes, exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking, Toxic. This airlock was actually going to become functional with a sensor, so you didn't have to actually click on the door. So basically, I was going to put a sensor right there. Yes, once I get to the point where I'm expanding the refinery, that will be an episode that covers sorters and yeah, it'll cover the sorters and I believe timer blocks too. But yeah. See, I like to do just all yield modules when I can do it, when I think I can get away with all yield modules. Because the more yield modules I have, the less I have to go out and actually get resources. And I don't have any actual dedicated mining setups yet. Well, except for that little vertical miner. But my plan is to actually go ahead and create... Come over here. I'm going to create 7 more refineries. No, 6 more refineries in the back, and I'm going to have one dedicated to each of the resources. I might do 7 actually. I'll do I'll do one for iron, nickel, cobalt, magnesium, silicon, silver, and gold, and then I'll do one for stone. And the stone will get its own dedicated sorter. I'm also going to need another sorting system that will expel gravel for me, because gravel is going to keep building up way too fast. Well, it's going to be dedicated just to it. Stone isn't benefited by the yield modules? I thought it was. I mean, obviously, I've never actually checked. But yeah, I thought the stone was still benefited by the yield modules. Does it say that in there? Oh, I wouldn't expect it to be by much, honestly. But I mean, it won't hurt to have the yield modules on there if I've got a dedicated refinery just for stone. Because at that point, once I've got a dedicated refinery for each material, what do I care how fast they go? I use the paint mod as well. It does go through gravel. Really? I thought the basic was better for stone. Huh. I'm going to have to test that now. Because it might just be a speed thing that has made it seem like it was better. If the survival kit's better, I might just actually make a survival kit do the stone. Because why not? All right, we're gonna go grab some more stone because I like flying in the dark. Not really, but why not? At least I don't have space just got real installed. Then there'd be no way I'd be able to see. Take a drink of coffee. Coffee is its own reason. So I was asking, I asked on Twitter how big the planets are that they're working with during their setup phase for VRage 2 or VRage 3, sorry. And they said they're working with 200-kilometer diameter planets. And that's during their testing phase, so they can probably get much bigger. In fact, they did say they could go bigger. So that could be very interesting. Yeah, that's the way that would work. When I get the whole thing set up, I will wind up building all of the refineries at the same time. And whatever refining setup I use, I almost hit the thrusters rather than the lights. Whatever refinery system I use will have all of the dedicated sorters, so there will be no way that anything else can get into any of the refineries. Waiting for that yellow light to come on. I love, absolutely love the event controller. I don't have a programmable block on this, and I just filled my stone up and it let me know. The event controller is a beautiful addition to the game. It didn't get nearly enough hype. Gotta burn some speed off. Went way too fast. Absolutely right, Steven. I mean, the event controllers actually have a lot now, but it's so simple. It's so intuitive. I mean, if this, then that. If not, then that. They did a really good job with the design of that block. And it's a pretty cool looking model too. I do like the models. I mean, I'm so used to the old models that seeing all the detail they have in them now just floors me. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't know why that causes so much clang, but it does. Just having the thrusters on makes it freak out. Some of the modders have gotten their hands on them. There's some really cool stuff going on with that. I can type honest. Huh. Do I have the survival kit? Well, geez. Yeah, the survival kit has been processing. Okay. That's the survival kit on my rover burning through stone. Huh. Okay. Well, it's going to the standard refinery right now with a yield module. I assume the yield module increases the output, as advertised. Although I could be wrong. Not gonna lie, I could be wrong. That is my assumption. The only way to check is to wait for it to burn through all of this and then just throw a 1K stone into each while they're both off and see what it does. In fact, we can do that now. Let's do that now. Turn the block off. Off. Let's go ahead and we'll go large cargo container. I need it to be the large cargo container on here. Fold in 2. Alright. We are going to drag 1K over here. And 1K over here. Alright, now I need to pull this connector off. Land this. Let's find out. We'll turn them both on, see what they process into. Refinery on. Survival kit on. And I should have emptied the refineries before I did that. Jeez. Okay. Alright, let's just go over here and we'll go. Alright. Now let's grab 2,000 stone and we'll check them. Alright, 2,000 stone. Let's see, refinery. 1,000. And survival kit. 1,000. Okay, the survival kit and the refinery. Yeah, the refinery got me double the output because of the yield modules. So, yeah, definitely the way to go is a yield module on a standard refinery. Or yield modules on a standard refinery. Okay, so the yield modules do give you the same percentage upgrade when dealing with stone. I really thought the survival kit was going to be less effective than the basic refinery, though. That does surprise me. Matter of fact, because I'm not familiar with it, we're just going to build a basic refinery. and we're going to try it. Maybe. Come on, weld up. Really got to make better tools, which I can do now. I have silver and gold. I do believe that allows me the next tool upgrade. And it's possible that it was just an oversight before. It was not an accusation. It was literally I just wanted to test. So we're gonna check the basic refinery now and see what it does. Okay, refinery. Basic refinery gave me 21. Yeah. Wow. I really thought the basic refinery did better than the survival kit. I just never thought to check it. I always thought the basic refinery was an upgrade to the survival kit. So this kind of surprises me. I've never actually read the wiki on that because I didn't think it mattered enough. Now I know it does. All my stone processing will be done in the survival kit or a regular refinery. Good to know. It's nice to not have scrap. I can just build and tear down and I'm not wasting materials. Ah. Alright, so I saw a few questions come through my oh. I moved all the stone. I need to move this back to the connector. I had a few questions come through my comment sections. Are any of the people who posted those questions here and want to see an answer? That's exactly right, Toxic. It's not that it's really all that super important. It's just more, I was curious. Apparently I double-clicked the, huh. Okay. Okay, the only stone we have left is in the large refinery. And that's it. That's in the wrong spot. Okay, 21.8k, and I'm out of stone. All right, I'm going to have to get more stone before I do that, because before I forget, I want to do this, and I should have just done it from inside the cockpit, but whatever. Assembler. yes, I can make the next tier of tools. That makes me very happy because these tools are a joke. Painfully slow. I 100% agree with you on that, Toxic. More uses for gravel would be nice. But I don't think the stone was never meant to be processed unless you were making a reactor. They added the ability to process stone and get base resources as kind of a let's make early game a little easier on new players. So it does require a little bit more balancing now because they made that change. But realistically, you shouldn't be running off of stone like everybody does now. You should be trying to go and get resource deposits so you don't over inundate yourself with gravel. Alright, let's disassemble. I didn't mean to. You went out and you found an iron vein, and you dug up iron. You went out and you found a nickel vein, and you dug up nickel. You actually had to go find the resource deposits before you could actually get started. I think they were looking to make more of a realistic kind of drop pod scenario, and that required you to not start with a full refinery. Wow. Technically, I'm old enough to be a grandpa. Thankfully, I am not yet. I'd like my children to wait a little longer. My oldest boy is 23. Yeah, 23. Yeah, we've all had that problem. The thing to remember is the ore, the ore map on a planet is a grid for the most part. Let me see if I can look here. I will have to find it real quick. Well, actually, I don't think I'm going to be able to find it right now. But the ore map, it's not procedurally generated. Your ore doesn't procedurally generate it. It's predetermined. The ores are predetermined on the planet. The planet is a sculpted planet. It's never going to be a different planet unless you use a mod. The oh, I can see myself doing that. Hi, Jamie. The ore maps are a predetermined setup. They're going to be basically, if I will throw up a graphic on here. See, we'll change this to text. We'll get rid of all the images here. Okay, that's fine. We'll just remove all the textures. I'll add them back in later. Okay, so if you're looking at the ore map, the predetermined ore map, it is something similar to this pattern here across the entire planet. So you would just take this and so if you can remember that the ore map is laid out this way, and it's almost exactly like this, these dot patterns here, then you can actually go and find your next ore deposit once you find one. You kind of know which directions to go. So if you map and you GPS marker this point right here and this point right here, you know there's going to be another point right in line with those two. If you get this one and this one, you know there's going to be another one right in line with those two. So it makes it actually quite easy to be able to find ores once you've found one or two ore deposits. Because once you find one, you know that you've got to be a few... right. Yes, it is a pattern. There's definitely a pattern to it. It's actually quite nice that the pattern is there because that helps when you're searching for ore deposits. And it also depends what planet you're on. There's actually a mod out there because people have said this makes it too easy. There's a mod out there for procedurally generated ore, and it replaces all the ore maps. Yes. You're going to find 2 or 3 ores at each deposit. The procedurally generated ore maps are going to change up everything for you because it procedurally generates the ore map and there is no pattern there then. But that being said, that map doesn't necessarily determine whether or not you're going to find silver or gold or cobalt where you want to be. Deep ores is fun, but only if it's paired with a range extension on your ore detector. Yes, they are working on a new game engine, Black Star. The new game engine, they have not officially said whether it's going to be Space Engineers 2, a new game, or whether it's just going to be an expansion. Personally, I would hope that they make it a new game. Not because I think, oh, I want to pay more money for this, but because I like the work Keen is doing and I want them to keep their software house open and running. So it kind of screws some players a little bit to do that, but I want them to make money. That being said, the new game engine is looking pretty epic. And if you're looking for resources spread out across planets, they did try to implement that a little bit. You're not going to find uranium on the Earth-like planet, and you're not going to find platinum on the Earth-like planet. You need to go to space to get both of those. You don't need to hit all of the planets, though. And basically, you really need gold and silver to be able to get to space. you definitely need the cobalt. So I don't know how they're going to play that out. That being said, there is a few different mods on the workshop that will spread the ores out across planets. So you actually have to do planet hopping to be truly end game. And I haven't tried some of those, but they look pretty good. Exactly, Black Star. If they come out with Space Engineers 2, I will not be upset at all with it being Space Engineers 2. I will be happy that they are going to make money and hopefully continue development on Space Engineers 2. They have not slowed down. Most of the indie software houses, as soon as they started to get some good money coming in, they slow down development and they basically close their doors and abandon their game. Keen is the only software company that went from being an indie company with just passion over their product to being an actual software house and building, well, not the only one, but as of recent, they seem to be one of the few that actually care about their user base. I could build a trebuchet in here that would throw your vehicle. The problem isn't that you can't build a trebuchet. The problem is it's a very inefficient way to send your ship to space. Yeah, that's pretty much it. There is a series, and I can't remember the guy who did it, but there was a series on YouTube where the guy was just testing different ways to get into space. And it was actually quite interesting. All right. Actually, I think I'm going to go smoke a cigarette because I can. Ah. And from the looks of it, when I get back, I'll have daylight, so I won't have to worry about running into mountain faces. Plus, I need more coffee. Really need more coffee. My cup is empty. And y'all know an empty cup is a bad thing. So, come with me to my coffee pot. I should have been doing this while we were chatting because it would have been a good time. So, what do you mean you don't have um, sustainable resources to stay in space? Uh, yes, I've seen the slingshot launcher to send ships into space and satellites into space. That looks amazing. They have this vacuumed merry-go-round where they spin to supersonic speeds and then release it. Um, you don't need to take a lot with you. Just make sure you take a survival kit with you. Not easy, very busy. But Black Star, if you take um, some basic stuff with you along the way, and you take a ship that has a mining head on it, on the front, preferably. So you'd want that ship to have a survival kit, so you have basic assembly needs. You want an O2 generator, and then when you get to space, don't search for an asteroid that has iron on it, or cobalt, or nickel, or any of that. Just search for an asteroid that has ice. That ice will allow you to have all the oxygen you need to be able to survive in space, and all the stone around it can be used to make resources. So search for an asteroid with ice. After that, you can head out
You can make your sustainable base where you've got a good base where you can stay alive. By just like starting on the Earth-like planet, you'll build a basic refinery, a basic assembler to start with, and then you can build or just take the stuff with you to build a full-on assembler and full-on refinery, and go to space and start building your base with the resources on that ice asteroid. Oh yes, absolutely right. Yeah, getting the ice is the key to being able to survive in space. Um, if you can't find ice, you can't breathe. But if you find ice, you've got all the stone you need to be able to get all the basic ores. In my season 2 base, I didn't take too many resources with me to space. Um, I didn't want to take everything with me. But all I did was I went and I found an asteroid out there and made sure it had ice and a good spot for a base, and that's where I started building, just processing stone. Granted, my season 2 playthrough, I'm using automatic drills, which is really nice. So I don't have to worry about drilling out ice or drilling out stone. It does it for me. But they are very nice. They come in very handy. In fact, I think that mod is called, yeah, that mod's called Resource Nodes. Um, Essentially, they are an ore generator, but you place them over a cobalt deposit and they generate cobalt. Uh, they just don't use up that deposit under them. There's another mod out there from, I can't remember the name of the mod, but it's another automatic drill, and it actually will use up the deposit you place it over. It just mines out the cobalt deposit, and the cobalt deposit disappears. So that one is a little less cheaty, and I've started using that one because it's a little less cheaty. Another one that's out there that's really good is the I think it's Nanobot Drill and Fill. It's by the same developer, Dummy, who makes the build and repair, and that drill and fill will actually drill up a resource deposit for you, and it actually does use up the resource deposit. So those are three really good options if you're looking for a playthrough where you're not actually running a mining ship. They function pretty well. And if you like to play like I do, where you like to play basically like you're in creative mode because you've built all the resources to do so, the build and repair unit coupled with the drill and fill will keep you playing like you're playing in creative while you're in survival. It's actually kind of nice. You just need to get the resources from the resource nodes over to your base, which that's where drones come in. Yeah, I don't know if you noticed I'm using EL dash and then the resource and SM at the end. It means it's a strip mine location. If it doesn't have the SM, then I know it's something where I've got to go in and drill more precisely. Like the spots on the ice, I don't want to strip mine those out because I don't want to leave big giant holes in my ice lake. So I know those are not the ones I'm going to with the strip mining. and the EL is for Earth-like, because it's the Earth-like planet. Because in the end, you're probably going to be shooting for another planet or the moon or an asteroid field or something. So when you get up there, yeah, definitely remember to name your your GPS markers accordingly. You want to be able to go in and quickly and easily find all the Earth-like resource node markers and turn them off, because you don't want to be going through all that clutter. I don't think I actually mentioned that tip in my playthrough. I probably should have. Sorry, pardon me. Uh, Actually sitting in the garage rather than sitting out looking at the birds, because it's hot outside, which means the spiders are out. And I don't want to have to watch for spiders. The snakes don't worry me as much because there's usually only one or two in my backyard.
What is better, an asteroid base or a space station? Yes. Um, Toxic is right. And Jamie, my personal belief is that a space station is cool, but an asteroid base is best. And there's a reason for that. Even the base game has some threat. Some. Put that in air quotes. If I come into K here, the space pirates are very friendly with me, and that's from killing wolves. But they start off very angry with you, and they will attack you. I think this space pirates becoming friendly by killing wolves is not the way it's supposed to be. Yes, the station should, if you're going to have any threat, be buried in the asteroid. In my opinion, they should be buried in an asteroid, and that's because if you're going to have threat, you don't want the threat to be able to destroy your survival kit or your med station or your ore refinery. You don't want the assaulting ship to be able to blow up all of your ships. Right. An asteroid is more defensible. Base stations, you can make them very fortified. Very, very fortified. And if you're going to use... Toxic is right, you can do that, but not if you're in the asteroid. If you do that while you're in the asteroid, it will make your station blow up. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It'll make it blow up. So, let's see. If we come in, and I'm going to switch to creative mode just to show this off, and I'm going to delete the block afterwards. I don't know how reasonable this is for most people, but the safe zone... You're right, Toxic. This safe zone block, you can build this. And if you go to the economy side of things, you can go buy and sell stuff at a station, and you can buy safe zone chips. The safe zone chips, if I scroll down to them here, because I need safe zone chips to be able to show this, and I'm just going to give ourselves 10 because that's a lot of them. So these are the safe zone chips. And if we come in here and look at the inventory and throw some in there, it depends. They need a lot of power to work. But if we enable the safe zone, and we're just going to bring it down to a very small radius. So 10-meter safe zone. And that's going to last for, oh, it doesn't tell me on here how long that's going to last. But you can see this dome here. That is a spot where you can set this to not allow any ships in or allow any blocks to be built. So if I switch to this and I place this block here, if this safe zone was set properly, it would actually take this block and shoot it off away from the zone because building is not allowed. Let's see, once it's initialized, we'll look at that. Because I don't want a block to be sitting on the... Why is it... going very, very slow. I can't make it initialize any quicker. But this is a force field for your base, and it is going to allow you to keep your base built. And if you're going to build a space station, I would recommend this be on your station, just so you have the station not getting destroyed. That does mean you will have to do the economy side of things. You'll have to go to trade stations. Let's see. Is it initialized yet? No. Wait for it to initialize. Once it initializes, it won't allow enemy ships in. You can come in down here and you can set all these things. Allow damage, allow shooting, allow drilling, allow welding, allow grinding, allow building, allow building projections. Uh-oh. That was causing my subgrids to bounce. We don't want that. Let's change that. It can't be any less. And that wheel's just inside. Let's go in and see if we can configure filters, factions. Do I have a faction? I don't think I have a faction. I do not have a faction. So you can actually come in, you can set up filters if you're in a faction to allow anything in your faction. Blue swoosh, large grid, mini vert. I'm just going to tell it to allow all of these right now. And that should be all of them. So now it's going to allow all of those grids without any question, so that will no longer bounce. And unfortunately that means we need to wait for it to pull back up. But you can tell it to allow damage, shooting, allow conversion to station, allow landing gear lock. So yeah, it's got a lot of things you can actually change on it. And you can actually change the texture. So if we wanted to, we could just change the texture up and make it look pretty cool. But for now, this is the texture you get until it's done initializing. Let's see. There we go. Now it's initialized. Now we've got this hexagon pattern that we chose. You can change it to, let's go organic. I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, so it's got a lot of textures in it, and personal favorite is just not the default. I think it was the aura. Yeah, my personal favorite is the aura. And you see, I can't even place that inside the safe zone. So I can't place anything inside the safe zone. I can place it out here, but inside the safe zone, I can't even place it. If I switch back to this bar, I can't shoot my weapon. And if I stand out here and I shoot my weapon, it can't shoot anything. So there's no damage, no potential for damage in the safe zone. This is a really good option if you're planning on building a space station. But as I said, you'll have to go to the trade stations and actually trade for them. So until you get to that point, I would suggest you actually go and build in an asteroid. Alright, we're going to get rid of that. And we're going to have to throw those away because I don't want them. Alright, let's just see. I think I have cargo containers here. Do not. Okay, well that'll work fine. Just drop that right there while I'm in creative mode. Throw the zone chips in it and delete it. There we go. Zone chips are gone. Now we'll turn off creative mode. I've not given myself any boost on this world using creative mode. I'm trying to keep from doing that. But yeah, if you're going to build a space station, I think that safe zone block is going to be your best option. There are mods that will handle that and do essentially the same thing without needing to go to the economy side of things. And there's also craftable consumable mods out there that will allow you to craft zone chips. So that's another option if you'd like to do that. Zone chips are intentionally prohibitively expensive though. That's exactly right, Toxic. And the minefield. Okay. You make a minefield, and I really don't want to place a minefield here. But you place a minefield, you're really just going to build mines and arm them with a battery attached. That's it. And you're going to just place them everywhere. It's not that it's hard. It's just time consuming. You can actually set up a system on a ship that will weld up a mine with a battery to it, a blueprint of a mine with a battery, and that mine's already activated. So you can just fly along, get to where you want it to be, weld it up, and then unmerge it from your ship and fly away. So it's not hard to actually place them. You will have to work on your mine design because ideally your mine is going to be... Alright, I will switch back to creative real quick. We'll go to 8. There we go. So ideally, your mines, and I'm going to build this in small grid. What's it called? It's called a... Right there, warhead. Going to build a warhead, and for what I'm thinking, you're right. A sensor would be nice, but it's not strictly required. A warhead, a merge block, and a battery. And a timer block. It depends on how close your mines are placed. Because on contact, they will explode if they're armed. Okay, so we've got the battery on there. We've got the mine. If we place a merge block right there and a timer block, we're just going to make this very ugly. That's in the wrong spot. And a sensor. Alright, so that sensor, you can actually come in, you can just so you can extend these fields all the way out. And if we come in here and we say, oh, what is it? Show sensor fields. And then we change this to show on HUD. You can see that bounding box there. Anything inside of that bounding box is going to set off this sensor. And you would come in here and you would set this sensor to search for large ships, small ships, static grids, and the whatnot. I don't want it to set off while it's sitting next to my base. I don't want it to set off at all. And then you would set your timer block on here because you don't want it to go off while your ship is there. So you'd set your timer block here, give yourself, I'd say give yourself probably like 5 minutes to get away from it. Okay? And the actions you would do would be just take the warhead and you would just tell it to arm the warhead. So the timer block arms it, and it does work pretty well that way. No, I don't think I put any decorative blocks on here. The decorative DLC pack is really nice for 1 block and 1 block only, if I'm going to be honest. You're absolutely right. For the earth minefield, you can do that with a parachute. The decorative pack gives you the bed. And this bed, it only uses interior plates, construction components, and bulletproof glass. That's the only block that you might... Right, and that's what I'm answering, Blackstar. The bed is great because when you're early on, this is a cryopod. So if I come in here to my base, and I will delete this, this decorative pack, this bed gives me a cryopod without silver. I don't need to find silver and make medical components to get a cryopod. This is a cryopod that is cheap. It requires that you have an airtight room with oxygen being fed to it. You have an airtight room with oxygen being fed to it. This will be a cryopod. That is the only thing that you really need the decorative pack for if you're going to use it. It is not a must, though. You don't have to have it. It just makes early game on servers a little easier. Yes, it definitely does. But any bed will give you the ability to have a cryopod without DLC. So you can actually just go get a mod. Like, I prefer the Modern Beds V2. That is one of my favorite mods for beds. It's got great beds in it, and all of them function as a cryopod if they are being fed oxygen or in a room that has oxygen fed to them. The open beds need to be in an airtight environment. Yes, this right here is just a passageway block, and I think that's what you're talking about, Toxic. Uh, Jamie, could you use a merge block to attach a grinder and welder and switch between the two? Yes, you definitely can. Yes. No, the DLCs are not must-haves. None of the DLCs are must-haves. They've done really, really good about making none of the DLCs a must-have. If you are going to play on a server, I recommend getting the decorative pack or asking the server mod to install some sort of bed mod that allows you to make beds early game. Other than that, you don't need anything. The DLCs, they give you cool things to have. Yeah, definitely wait for sale. The DLCs just give you cool things to have. Neat looking things. You can see these half windows here. These are really cool. I love these half windows. It's a window wall. I love that. It's really cool looking. It serves no function. Come in here and we look at some other things here. The decorative blocks. They give you new windows. They give you a non-essential thing. They give you a jukebox. You don't need the jukebox. Jukebox is cool, but you don't need it. They give you graded catwalks. I like the graded catwalks, but you don't need it. They give you some freight containers that are fairly cheap, and they might be useful very early game before you found cobalt. Yes, exactly. But they all just add neat things. The decorative blocks, they add a desk, which I didn't even realize a desk was not vanilla. Yes, effort's right there. But none of them are required. This cockpit is kind of neat. If you were going to look at anything and say it was, let's see, automatons. If you were going to look at anything and say that it was kind of required, the only thing I can think of is the saddle cockpits. If you want to make a hover bike, the saddle cockpit is really the only way to go to make a hover bike. And that's a DLC item. It really is. You're right, Toxic. So the automatons update for the saddle cockpits and the decorative pack for the bed. I do believe it's a decorative pack. Yeah. Yeah, those. The bundle's great. You will not regret that purchase, Toxic. Hex, you will not regret the purchase. Not at all. But you don't have to do it. Keen has been very good about making sure that none of the DLC is actually required. It's almost entirely cosmetic and nothing that you can't accomplish in the base game. Let's see. Yeah, like I said, the bed is really nice for early game. The storage containers from, I think it was it Warfare? No, where were the storage containers? Um, Decorative blocks too. Using the merge block is more efficient for resource use. Personally, I prefer to have a dedicated ship for each, though. But yeah, I mean, it's there's some DLC blocks that just look neat. Matter of fact, I think the DLC large cargo container is actually a waste of money. It has the only thing it has on the vanilla is it has more mounting spaces. The vanilla cargo container, the mounting faces are only at the connectors. Survive and build. It's really more about the building aspect, about really building cool things, exploring the galaxy, and trying to have fun. Think of it the same as Minecraft. Minecraft doesn't really have an end game. It's a sandbox survival game. Minecraft has bosses. This one does not really have bosses, but there are some mods out there that add different threats and different bosses out there, and those are kind of nice. But this, same goal as Lego. This cargo container has 4 connectors on it, only 4, whereas the standard large cargo container has 9. It's the same volume. The only thing this cargo container has on the other cargo container is the mounting locations. If I can come in and place it here, I don't think I'll be able to place it. But this one, I can place this right here. And the standard cargo container, I can't. Yeah, 6 conveyor ports, whatever. Effort likes to correct my grammar. Yeah, if you go and you look at the workshop and you look in Keen's scenarios, those scenarios have an end goal. And those can be a lot of fun if you're looking for something that gives you a specific set challenge and a specific set direction. I normally just play where I just create a star system and go from there. But yeah, I mean, you should really think of this game kind of like you would Minecraft. It's a survival sandbox. Yes, Hex, each has its pros and cons, but you don't need the DLC parts. I mean, Keen has done very good about trying to make sure you don't need a certain a certain DLC to be able to play the game and keep up with people. It's very good that way. If we come into, where's it at? There it is. I am not sure what a Pelta frigate is. I'm not good with names. So there are a few things that Keen actually tries to do. There's, I think I may have pulled out the wrong one. Yeah, I did. Yes, you can still use DLC blocks. But you can see this conveyor cap. It just hides the conveyor there. You just can't see it anymore. You can't do anything with it. That is vanilla. This one here, it's a DLC conveyor cap that allows you to actually access it. I do believe mods are available for console. Yes, exactly, Toxic. If a friend has them, get them to place it and you'll be fine to use it. You won't be able to use any blueprints from the workshop yourself that have DLC in them. You'll have to have a friend actually weld those up for you. But the friend can weld them up, the friend can place them, you can still use them. So if you have a friend come through and place beds for you, they'll be completely usable for you. So yeah, I mean, mostly none of the DLC is required. I would say 99% not required. There are a couple of nice additions, nice to haves that come with the DLC, like those conveyor caps I was just showing, the one that opens and allows you access still. That's a DLC. The one that does not open is the vanilla. Definitely not required, but it's nice to have because it just hides that big yellow square and still leaves you access. Here, let's see. We're gonna start a new game, custom game. We're gonna start on the alien planet, make it creative. I think I own it. I don't think I've played it much. Let's see. Now, if you're coming through and you look at all the mods here, these are all mods from the Steam Workshop. It does, and that's because the uh, the thing is with mods is that the mods on the workshop, the Steam Workshop, they have some of them have scripts in them that require the server and the client to actually communicate scripts back and forth, and that's not allowed on Xbox and PlayStation. So Xbox and PlayStation is what's limiting the ability for these mods to work on the consoles. And that's nothing that they can actually do to change that. But if you come in, you can actually browse the workshop right here in game, which is kind of handy. You can see this nanobot build and repair system. So let's see, you can search by most recent. And we want, let's see, how do I change this? Mod.io. So these are mod.io mods. These are the ones that'll probably be available to the platform players. The rotary airlock is pretty cool. I believe you're right. The Xbox is not bad. Um, it's essentially just a PC gaming platform with some limitations. So you can actually come in, and I believe the mod.io mods are the ones you'll be looking at, so that should probably be where you're looking. And let's see. If we search for quiet, and I don't see quieter tools. Yeah, so I don't. Let's search for sneaky. Nope, I am not seeing the quieter tools on there, unfortunately. That might be available, but I have not seen it. So let's see the airlock. Yeah, none of the airlocks are in there. You're right, Black Star. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff on here that you'll have to look. So yeah, I would recommend checking out some of these mods here. More wolves. That might be interesting. But yeah, there's a lot of things in here that do work on Xbox and PlayStation. I just don't know what they are. Sadly, I just don't. Yeah, one of the some of the mods I prefer, I actually have a list for them, but I can't show them right now because I can't show my Steam. But I do have a nice list of mods. Oh, Hex, I think you'll have fun with it. So, uh, what did they have, Tark? Did they have sneaky sounds and I didn't see it there? I just sorry, I just don't play on console, so I don't have good answers for that. I can tell you that when I'm browsing the workshop, I'm usually browsing Steam because they're all on Steam. Oh, rotary airlock right there. Why was it not showing up before? Or is it back on Steam again? Yeah, it was back on Steam. All right. All right, I'm going to start. Is there any mod that anybody would like to see? Personally, I prefer I like the rotary airlock, but there's one that I like better. If it will let me show it here. The airtight connectors, VCZ airtight connectors, it's a rather old mod, but it still works really well. And I can't open it in Workshop and show you, but that is a really good one. And airlock glass is pretty good. All right. Yes, they did. Let's. I'll show you why I prefer those. Those airtight connectors. They are a docking ring. That's essentially what they are. Well, please ask. I will be happy to answer any questions as best I can. Here, these here, the airlock connectors, airtight connectors, those are wonderful. And we'll set up a rotary airlock right next to it. Set up the rotary airlock. And we're going to come outside. Oh, what just happened? Well, I just did something bad. Uh, that's strange. I just crashed the desktop. I haven't had that happen in a long time. Uh, Apparently that mod might be broken. I was using it not too long ago though, so I don't think that mod's broken. It might be a conflict between the rotary doors and the airlock connectors, because some mods will conflict with each other. Not sure. I do know there was a problem with the rotary doors causing crashes, and there was a problem with the airtight connectors causing crashes in the past, but I thought that had all been hammered out. And I told it to restart, but it's okay. Not restarting. There it goes. Oh, it was downloading a mod update. Uh, Sard. Sardna? Sardna. It is console friendly. They do have a version for Xbox and PlayStation, as well as PC. Yes, multiplayer is friendly. You can set up a server that will connect to, will allow console and PC players to connect at the same time. So your PlayStation friend will be able to play with your Xbox friend while you're playing on your PC, or whichever arrangement it may be. I am not 100% sure how to set that up because I have not tried to set up a server for cross-platform play yet. Probably should, but it's my understanding that it's a checkbox. And whoever's setting up the server needs to make sure that the mods are mods that are compatible with the console players. PC version can play any of the mods. Console versions can only play the ones that work on their consoles. Copy the link from the top of your browser and send it to them. I'm assuming he's going to watch it on his computer. Huh. Well then. Alright, we're just going to try the connectors. And we'll see if maybe the connectors is broken. If it is, there's another one. Yeah, it's the connectors mod. If you're watching on your phone, then the best way to do it is to go tilt your phone so it's vertical again. Underneath, you'll see a share option. and you can send that to your friend. And I just crashed to desktop again. So, restarting. It is the airtight connectors is broken. I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can copy and paste from chat. Okay. Let's see. Hey, Dedrick. Okay. Let's see. It's back up. Edit settings. Mods. I usually always turn it on. Yeah, but that doesn't matter for this. All right. Loading the hotfix one. I'm using this mod in another world, so it might actually be. Let's go ahead and make sure. I usually always turn on scripts. I may have forgot to. I don't think I actually went into the in-game scripts. Okay, so I'll go back in and we'll see if it's the scripts that is breaking it. And airtight connector. Okay, we'll try it with the scripts on, see if that's what's breaking it, that it's looking for the script. But that airtight connector, if it's working, I absolutely love it because it's a docking ring. It's a connector, just like your regular ship connector. Your regular ship connector will connect to it. It's also a door, so you put one on your ship. And I'm just going to go ahead and try to place one right now. And if it crashes to desktop again, then I'll load the hotfix. And I'll load the hotfix. I am actually using it right now, so I don't know why it's doing that. I'm using that connector on one of my other games. It might just be a conflict between the rotary doors and the airtight connectors. But yeah, the rotary doors are cool. So let's go and we'll edit settings. Not that. Yeah. That's good. Mods. We're just going to try getting rid of the rotary doors and see if it's a conflict. I mean, eventually I'll get it loaded. There's actually another connector door mod out there, and it may not have a conflict, but I prefer those connector doors because they work as docking rings. All right, let's see. Nope, it is definitely not a conflict. For some reason that mod is breaking on me now. All right. Now I'm afraid to load the game where I actually have them loaded. That's a problem. Maybe I'll try the other connection rings mod. And anyways, they work as a connector, so you can actually connect your ship to the station without a merge block, and it gives you an airtight passageway that you can walk through, as well as transfer items through. So I prefer those kinds of setups. Let's go back in there and check it again. I am confused by this. Let's try this one real quick. And yes, the Zardoz air connector passageway and more. That's another good one. So we'll pull that in and save this setting. And if the VCZ crashes my game again, we'll just show the Zardoz. I prefer the VCZ, but Zardoz is another really great option for this. I don't know why it's crashing things, though. I really don't. Matter of fact, we'll just stick with Zardoz because it works. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. This is small grid. These are large grid. And these work like connectors. And they allow you to actually pass resources through. These are really nice blocks, but these are much larger than the VCZ. The one with the force field, I believe, is the one that gives you the airtight passageway. Now, let's go ahead and we'll... do I want to try it again? Yeah, might as well. Worst thing that happens is we crash again, right? Ah, see, it placed. Weird. But these have the connector feed on them, and then you just place one of these rings on there, and that ring is a door. So that's your airtight door, and your connector is part of that block. It's a really nice setup. Really simple, compact, easy to use. I prefer this to the rotary doors because it does give you an airlock. And it allows you to connect up really easily with a nice little passage to walk right into another station. I really like these doors, and I recommend them. Alright, so Sard and Dedrick, did you guys have any specific questions? Aside from multiplayer and cross-platform. And I need more coffee.
So we're going to grab more coffee. I just started a creative world so that I could actually answer questions and not have to worry about actually being in creative in my survival game. Plus, I didn't want to add mods to my survival game. I can add mods to this all day long and not worry about it. Why are you staring at me like that, cat? My cat likes to give me this death glare. It is definitely It is definitely multiplayer and cross-platform. And I do believe it was Toxic that said that he set one up, and it is just a checkbox. Setting up a server is different from in-game. You can play in-game, and when you're in-game, you're setting up a world. You can actually change the world settings. So if we come down to this again and we go load game, you're going to get the same settings as what I'm about to go through right here. But in the settings, you can come in and you can change it to online mode. You can change it to private, friends, and public. Private just means you need to invite the people. Right. The in-game one right now you can just change it to private and you can invite your friends. If you change it to public, anybody can join you. Friends means any of your friends can see your server and join. So private just means you're going to invite one friend or two friends specifically. Friends means all your friends can join. Public means anyone can join. So it's really easy in game to set your game up to allow friends to join you. As far as allowing it to be cross-platform in this, I don't know that you can. I don't know if it works. Um, I will leave that to somebody else to answer because I don't have cross-platform friends. Personally, if I thought I was going to be playing with some cross-platform play, I would go through the hassle of setting up a server separately. Which I say hassle, but it's not really hard to set one up. It's just you just need to know how to route your IP address through your router and how to set up the network connections to work, which isn't too difficult, but it's one of those things where most people look at it and say that's IT voodoo stuff and black magic sorcery and everything, and they shy away from it. But if you have a friend who knows how to set up servers and is very happy to do so, just call them and they'll happily set it up. Otherwise, YouTube is a great resource. So is their wiki. The servers are not hard to do if you're willing to just sit down and take half an hour to set everything up and learn a new trick that you haven't learned in the past. I if not all uh yes, you're right. And there's actually oh my gosh. um the cross-platform play as far as things not communicating, I wouldn't know. The some ISPs won't work. You're 100% right. Some ISPs will not work out of the box. Mine is one of those. And the way I get around that is I set up a web address and I used something like what is it? No IP. Um, Basically there's a lot of them out there that if you don't have a dedicated route, they will actually map a website to your computer for you, even though your outgoing IP address is changing and fluctuating. So if you go to some of those sites, you can actually set up a static web address. So say uh, something like jagodragon.com. That's obviously not it, but jagodragon.com, I could have that always route to my IP address for me. One of the ones I like to use is I can't even remember the name of it now. Um, exit exit DNS, and that will make sure that my web address that I'm using is always routed to my PC. and that allows me to treat my ISP as if it will work as a server, because it works. It works well. I've had friends play on servers through there quite a few times. Effort can probably attest to it that it does function. Of course, he's probably got latency issues regardless of how I'm running it because he's in the UK and I'm in the US. But yeah, there are ways around the issue of your ISP not working to run a server. And if you just don't have a computer beefy enough to run a server, there are plenty of server hosting sites out there that will host your server for you for free. Um, it's just do a Google search for Space Engineers server hosting free, and you'll find a few. And the free ones give you a limit like only 10 people can play, or only 5 people can play, or something like that. But they work, and they're free. And you don't really have to go through the hassle of setting up your own server. And if you get to where you're enjoying that server so much that you want to invite more people, it's really just switching to a paid option and they'll continue hosting it. It's really a great option to go with the server hosting if you don't have a computer to run it. I hope that answers all your questions without too much confusion. Sorry, I'm smoking a cigarette real quick. And I'm just going to blame my cat. It's my cat's fault. 100% right, Toxic. The home servers do use a lot of juice. I don't generally worry about the electric that I spend running a home server, though. It might not be available. It might not be something that can be done because it's modifying some of the base game files. I don't know how it works with the PS5. So you might not be able to get quieter tools on there. Depends on how that is set up in the PS5 and the Xbox. I did watch the streams where they were talking about it, and they said in many ways the Xbox was easier to set up, and I think that's because the Xbox is more like a PC. So the game files on the PlayStation might just be more restrictive. Every Sunday I stream with my buddies, and a few of them have not come back yet, but um, yeah, every Sunday we stream the Weekend Warriors. Hi, Zoxter. So yeah, every Sunday we play the Weekend Warriors stream, and that is where's it at? Sunday live stream right here. And I host that on my PC. I'm not going to load it up because, obvious reasons. I don't want to mess with the live stream world while everybody's not on to play. And I think Effort's the only one available right now. Yeah, effort's the only one available right now. And I'm not even sure effort's available to play. All right, let's switch back to my better mic.
Yeah. I need to go get more stone. But I'm trying to keep Sunday stream on Sundays because that's when everybody expects it. And although 3 of our friends have not been joining us the last couple weeks, I don't want to exclude them purposefully. Yes, I am. Let's make sure I don't have creative on. Yeah, I'm not sure. The next episode, I'm not sure if it's actually going to be a base expansion. Well, it will be a base expansion of some sort, but I'm not sure if it'll be processing expansion or solar panel explanation. I'm thinking of showing how to set up a solar array, a nice solar array. Just because that's the option that people are going to need if they're not on the Earth-like planet. I don't have uranium available. I can't set that up. Another option that works well is the hydrogen engines, but my yes, that is another thing to think about is your bandwidth. Personally, I have good internet, so I don't worry about that too much. Why I didn't bring it up. I just don't think about that much. And honestly, if you're in some of the other countries, the European countries, they have faster internet, especially if you're in the Scandinavian countries. I think it's Sweden has a requirement for faster internet in even the rural areas by law, which is kind of nice for the people out there. Is that yellow light on already? It is. Crap. Well, that was quick. All right. That's the end of that trip. You just saw a spark. That means there's a piece of voxel that's sticking out. Let's take care of that. There we go. And that didn't overload me, so we're good. So yeah, personally, for hosting a site, I use Exit DNS to give myself a web address because I do not have a static IP address. And the Exit DNS gives me a static IP address. Well, not a static IP address. It gives me a website that I can give my friends to let them connect to my server. For the most part, all of my friends play on PC, so I just host the game as if it's a local game and invite them to join me. and that works pretty well. Although I will say that my son's friend asked if he could join me on playing Space Engineers, and I think he has it on Xbox. So I am going to have to set up an Xbox server. Maybe I'll transfer. Well, I'll see how he's going to play first, but I'll probably start a new world and see what he likes to, how he likes to play. I'm not going to invite him to join a multiplayer game that I've been playing with other people without knowing what I'm getting into. Not that he's a good kid, but he might have different play styles from me and my friends, and that could not mesh well, potentially. Alright, now we just wait for it to go through the stone. Let's see, survival kit, production, get rid of that. I don't need it grabbing all of the stone, processing it. Let's see, 23. I'll probably wind up with 25k iron. That's probably enough iron. Don't really need too much of the silicon and nickel. Got more than enough silver than I'm going to need, and probably gold as well. So I think I'm good. It doesn't take long to process through the stone though, so maybe I'll just process through all this stone and then see if no, I'm not going to have 25k, am I? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I'll have 25k. Let's see. I'm actually going to need silicon for the solar cells. I think I have enough for that. Imagination is limitless. Resources is what limits you. I don't know how else to answer that, Sardna. I generally try to go for practical designs over pretty designs myself, but I've seen some really spectacular things built on the workshop. There's the main limitation for Space Engineers is really just how much are you, or how imaginative are you? Effort's answer is spot on, and so is Toxic. PCU limits are an issue. PCU limits can be turned off in the game settings, though. Actually, I don't know about Xbox and PlayStation, but on PC, you can actually change a setting in there to say no build limits. So you can build as big as your imagination will let you, if you want, at least on a PC. And then your only limitation is not the PCU, but the CPU in your computer. How well can it handle it, and how much RAM do you have? Really Toxic. I have not run into that issue myself. And I will say, I think, yeah, there's a guy out there who has an entire city. Yeah, there's a guy out there who has an entire city, and he did actually reach that limit. Now that I'm thinking about it, and he wound up splitting the city into different components and connecting them with connectors. The PvE aspect, all you get is wolves, spiders, and space pirates in vanilla. The space pirates become friendly if you kill wolves, but you can set yourself to be at war with them, and it won't matter how many wolves you kill. The spiders, there's no way to become friendly with those. Same with wolves, you can't become friendly with those. The PvP, the PvP aspect is, yes, there's tons of PvP. There are a lot of people out there who play PvP. And basically you build ships and you go head to head. Big space battles. There are some PvP servers out there that are not all that fun to play on because it's all PvP and you can't really get started. My personal opinion. Some people love those servers. But for PvE content, there's actually quite a few mods on the workshop that add even more PvE content and make it more immersive. I would recommend any of the AI enabled mods and any of the modular encounter mods. Those work really, really well to give you PvE content. PvP, I try to shy away from that myself, but the PvP can be a lot of fun. Yeah, Toxic, you're right. Some servers do offer that, and I'm just not a big fan of PvP myself. It's not that... It's just not my playstyle. But some people love it. A lot of people love it, actually. I'm kind of the odd man out there, I think. But yeah, PvP can be a lot of fun. There are lots of weapons in game that help you with that. And if we come to block weapons, you can see them here. You've got turrets that will automatically run themselves, or you can take control of them. You've got forward-facing weapons that you can place on your ships. They're really nice. Yeah, Toxic, you're in about the same boat as me then. I will very happily build ships for people who need to fight. Yeah. I will happily build ships for people to go fight in. Design ships for people to go fight in. And I'll have fun with that. I won't enjoy the fighting as much as they do. I will design up a system that will keep them supplied with said ships too. But I don't enjoy the fighting as much as they do. I'm not happy with those wind turbines. I don't like using the square blocks for those. but that's because I have the DLC blocks. I prefer to use the round cylindrical columns going up and coming out from the points. That's my personal preference, and then I will grab a conveyor pipe junction and place that at the junction point right in the center. That's personally how I like to make those, so you've got a nice round tower that the wind turbines are on. That's not available though without the DLCs. And it's just aesthetics. Alright, let's see. Did it process all that stone? How much iron do I have now? Oh, the refinery emptied itself. Good. Okay, we have 26,500 iron. And cobalt, we should be good. We do need more magnesium. The wolves are burning through my magnesium rather quickly, which is annoying. And I don't even have that many wolves showing up. What to do, what to do. Pretty sure, yeah, I've got plenty of gold. I'm not building a jump drive, so I don't need a ton of gold. Let's see, if I... Let's go to the assembler. And let's look at the production. If I go ahead and I say I'm going to build 6 more refineries, that means I need 120 superconductors. No. I need... Let's check. I think... I do believe the yield modules each take 20 superconductors. Yeah, so 20, 80. So 80 times 6 is going to give me... Oh, that's not right. 480 superconductors. So let's go ahead and we'll put 480 superconductors in here. Alright. Now it should be able to make those. 320. Why is it not actually producing them though? Oh. Except for disassemble. Okay, I need about 300 gold. I've got just enough to expand my refinery setup. That'll do. Console does have some mods. It does not have the same amount of mods, and that's why I'm doing this with no mods in this playthrough. Because mods are difficult with this being a cross-platform game, and plus, honestly, my personal opinion is if you're going to play the game, you should play it without mods first. Get comfortable with it, get to where you're able to do most of the stuff in the game without having any mods. And then once you know the game kind of inside and out, then you can pick and choose mods that will enhance your gameplay experience in the way that's best for you. That's my personal opinion. I do know some people who disagree with me and think that the way to go is just get all of the mods right now. I disagree. I think you should play vanilla, get to playing vanilla, enjoy playing vanilla, and then add mods. You can add as many or as little as you like, whatever it takes to make your game what you're going to love. I do believe that's available on the workshop. I believe that's been done several times. The Defiant is an awesome ship. Not gonna lie, I love it. Um, I have not built it yet. I do believe that's something you would want to build in creative mode, though. Normally, I don't do a whole lot of creative mode building. There's a lot of people that's the only way they play the game. Um, they just go into creative mode and build cool stuff. I'm going to go get another load of gold because I'm going to use all of my gold for the base expansion. Ooh, that was rough. I sat there for too long before pulling off of the connector. Gonna fling me. And if you're new to the game, Flang. Flang is a ruthless god in this game. Really, it's just the name that the community has given to the phantom forces in the game. For some reason, yeah, and Toxic's comment is exactly spot on. And I'm going too fast. There we go. And if you're going through my guide series and looking for useful guides on any of this stuff and how to play it, remember that most of the stuff in my guide series, I am building it simple. I'm not building the best. I'm not building the one that's going to get you to exactly where you need to be. I'm building the one that's going to teach you principles and get you mostly set up. And then I'm going to leave it to you to bring out your imagination, your own design styles, and make it your own. Personally, I think that's the way it should be done in any survival creative type game. Just enough to get started, and then it's up to you. Make it yours. Have fun. I won't be making fun of you. Um, I may join you though. Actually, yeah, Effort's correct. A one-to-one replica would be extremely difficult. Oh, that's because some of my batteries are set to recharge and some of them are set to be normal. What's going on there? Okay. Let's see. My batteries got messed up. Auto. Recharge. Yeah, I was just noticing that too. For some reason, not all of my batteries were set properly. I don't know how that happened. Weird. My goal is gold right now, so this is true. That's 100% right, Toxic. If you have blocks that are draining power, it will hinder the ability for the thrusters to work. Just turn on my ejectors because my goal is to get gold, not stone. There we go. I am through the stone, or through the gold. Let's go ahead and we'll sit down right here and check inventory. Yeah, that's a good amount of stone and gold. Go ahead and turn them off and see how good we do. Must be tilted. Yes, Toxic, that's 100% correct. The ideal way is to make sure you have enough power so you don't have to worry about it. Which this one does have enough power. Um, and it works pretty well. It does not have enough thrust to effectively lift when it's got a full inventory. And that's kind of by design. It's a simple vertical miner, and I want you to use it as a jumping off point, or use it, but my plan was to design something that would be a good jumping off point for somebody to learn the principles and design something better. Come up with your own, because you do you. The game's more fun when you make your own stuff and figure out your own problems. It's just, in my opinion, it's just way more fun that way. I am a bit overloaded, I think. Well, it honestly just it depends on what your playstyle is. Oh, yeah, actually, Toxic is correct. If you're going to build something in creative and you want it to work in survival, start a survival game and then switch to working in creative. Everything you build, you'll be able to build in creative mode, but everything will work as if you're in survival. You should almost never start a creative world unless it's just to be creative and not worry about function. As far as vertical miners or forward facing miners, that's a personal preference. The forward facing miners are the only way to go if you're in space. On a planet, even on the moon, anywhere where you have gravity, A vertical miner or where you're going to be digging real deep, a vertical miner is really the best way to go because you can put a lot of thrust in the direction that matters. I'm really high up. I don't need to be this high up. And that's my opinion. I know a lot of people who think that forward-facing miners are the way to go, even on planet side. But if you have a forward-facing miner on the planet, you have to worry about trying to back out of a cave, fighting gravity. And it makes it a little difficult to maneuver. That's probably the best option. Build both and see what you like. I Yeah. Usually I'm mining in a spot where vertical miner's the best. I found the most of the time when you've got a forward facing miner, they're really only useful if the deposit's in a face like that in front of me, where you're going to be digging into a face. The vertical miner is digging into a face in the direction that the thrust matters. But that is just my personal opinion. I find the vertical miners to be easier, more usable, more user friendly for most mining planet side. Especially when you get into the higher gravity planets. But in space, you're only going to want the forward facing. Okay, Toxic, I would love to see that build. That sounds interesting. Is it on the workshop? All right. Oh, um, can you share the name of it? I don't know if links will work, and I don't know if I can allow a link. Um, Last time someone tried to share a link, it wouldn't share properly. No, you're not too slow, just. It's just because somebody else has already done it does not mean you're too slow. There's a lot of things that have already been done. It doesn't matter that it's already been done because you can do it too. And you may do it differently, you may do it the same way, but you'll know it's yours. Um, Link's not sharing other than as normal text. Okay. I don't think that's necessarily a problem because you can copy and paste a link. But if you can just copy and paste the name of it, I can probably find it on the workshop. Right. Well, let's see. Yeah, We definitely needed gold after making all that superconductor material. I am extremely familiar with that problem, having a massive blueprints. Um, yeah, uh, just a few. And I don't even have that large of a list. At least not anymore. I did clear some out. This one was fun, though. I really enjoyed this ship. Um, it's a small grid ship with a hangar in it and a small shuttle that lands in the hangar. That was a lot of fun. Alright. Yeah, I got a few of them in here. But, I mean, I've got vertical miners, but in the video where I built the vertical miner, that forward-facing miner was from my own blueprints. And it's not a bad option. I was playing in a world with lots of cliff faces, so it was just the best way to go. It was a forward-facing miner because it was all digging into the side of mountains. Digging into the side was the best way to get resources. So forward-facing miners are best for that. Let's see. Boha drill? Hmm. See if I can find that. Alright, where is Steam? Steam, Space Engineers, Workshop. Oh, that's really cool. Subscribe to that. Does it say any mods required? Yes. Yes, Dedrick. You don't want bad pilots to fly your ship. I'm going to switch to creative and spawn in this miner. Oh, I have all the DLCs. I'm not worried about the DLC for this. I'm going to spawn it in after I reload everything. And we're going to give it a shot. Oh, a little bit of lag there. That's kind of cool. Uh, Alright, so let's see. Where is the... I'm assuming... Oh, sweet! That is cool. And then turn rotor lock on and off. That is nice. I like that. Okay, and here, will your ship crash? Let's go someplace where I don't really care if I damage the terrain. because I can't see it from my base. I'll have to clean all this up, but here we go. Hopefully that answers your question. Things blew up. I lost a bunch of thrusters, a bunch of rotors. I can no longer turn the ship. And there's a lot of damage. Actually, there's way less damage than I expected. But yeah, it's pretty much dead. All right. Now that I've crashed it. So yeah, it can crash and it can break. It would have been cheating to keep that around because I brought it in with creative mode, so why not crash it and show you how it actually affects things. But yes, crashing can be very catastrophic to not too catastrophic at all. So, yeah, choose your pilots wisely. I do like that mining ship. I could probably swap out the cockpit. Looks like the only thing using DLC is the cockpit. Yes, toxic is correct. The drills take a lot of abuse. Same with wheels. That's why you'll see me sometimes just add wheels to the bottom of a flying ship, because the wheels will allow you to hit the ground and the wheels will not take too much damage. It really reduces the amount of damage to the overall. All right. Let's see. Oops, too much. Back. I really need to put a landing gear on that so it's just stuck to the floor. Hmm. So, what I'm thinking for the base expansion is probably just going to be a time lapse. I'll see if I can get a friend to log in and just time lapse a build for me. Because I'm thinking that I'm not actually going to show most of the build expanding onto the base, but it's going to be a lot of work. So, but what I'm thinking is I'm just going to come out with some connectors here, or sorry, some conveyors through here, and put some sorters in, and then just pile up 5 or 6 refineries on there. How many can I actually fit here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And almost fit 6. So I can fit 5 in there. You need to add some more cargo space too, though. So maybe I'll just put a double row of refineries in there and then some cargo containers. I think that'll work out nice. That's what we'll do when we do it. See, is it done processing through and emptying all of my inventory? Okay, that's done. Still have a bunch of gold to go through. stone. Actually, I think I'm good on just about all the resources. If I was going to do anything, I would probably go grab more silicon or cobalt. But I don't think I need to do that. As a matter of fact, I think I have to get some stuff done around the house before I need to drive my daughter to work. So, I think I have to end it here, honestly. So, thank you for coming. I will be back on Sunday with the live stream, and I will be working on the base expansion with solar panels, a nice solar array for that next video throughout the rest of this week. Sorry, but I have real life stuff to do. Yes, I hope you all have a good time. I hope you all go play Space Engineers and build something yourself. So, thank you for coming. You all have a great rest of your day. See you later.